Healing Minds and Souls, a faith-based community dedicated to bringing trauma-informed care to the North Nashville community and surrounding areas through education, resources, and building relationships to develop healthy and a holistic community. Pastor Ella Clay will be talking about how we can stop allowing fear to overtake us regardless of our past, present, or future. Come and learn how to recognize signs and symptoms of trauma as we understand the emotional, physical, social, and spiritual impact of traumas. We will unpack the meanings of vicarious traumas and how to avoid moral injury as we actively avoid re-traumatizing ourselves and others. Let's learn together how to navigate life challenges of grief, trauma, pain, and/or isolation, and discover our innate strengths of courage, kindness, trust, perseverance, and become better equipped to experience a newfound confidence by not letting circumstances define our current existence or future selves. Join our show today with Pastor Ella Clay. She serves as senior pastor of the historic First Community Church and executive director of Healing Minds and Souls, 1815, Knoll Street, Nashville, Tennessee, 37208.
Good morning. Welcome to Healing Minds and Souls. We're so grateful that you joined us on this beautiful morning, this day that God has given us. It's wrapped in His beautiful sunshine. We're grateful that the day is filled with joy. It's filled with peace. It's filled with everything that we need that pertains to life and godliness. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Are you tired of fad diets and one-size-fits-all fitness programs that don't deliver results? Fitness Nation USA's Bodied by Jen and Jen and Juice offer a comprehensive wellness solution tailored to your unique needs. From personalized one-on-one coaching to energizing group classes, custom meal plans, and all-natural cold-pressed juices, we've got everything you need to transform your body and life. Our expert-led programs and products have already helped thousands achieve their health goals. Ready to join the fitness revolution? Visit jenandjuice.net today and take the first step towards a healthier, happier you. Wade's Lawn Service is your one-stop solution for all your outdoor needs. We offer comprehensive residential and commercial lawn care, expert landscaping and design, professional fertilization, and seasonal maintenance services. Our team of skilled professionals will transform your outdoor space into a stunning oasis, boosting your property's curb appeal and value.
Hello, my name is Deborah Wade, and this is my husband, Ira Wade, located at 1215 Louisville Highway in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. We've been in business now since...
I started in 98.
Don't let lawn care stress you out any longer. Visit www.wadeslawnservice.com or call us at 615-766-8347 today to experience the difference of a well-maintained, beautiful lawn without the hassle.
Join host Dr. William Head each Thursday live at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The show is Let's Talk About It, chats with experts on their field, issues that affect everyone, and interviews with people who have found success in life.
Hello, my name is Glenn Carter. I'm the owner here at Carter's Family Florist. We've been serving all over Nashville and the Middle Tennessee for the last 25 years. We do flowers for all occasions. We do weddings, funerals. We send flowers out of town and have a host of plants, cassandra for the prom, a dozen roses at Valentine, a dozen roses for Mother's Day. We do balloons, fruit baskets, and things of that nature, and we do deliver. So always come to Carter's Family Florist when you're in need of your flower needs. Address is 1822 26th Avenue North. That's Nashville, Tennessee, 37208. My phone number is 615-256-3777. Thank you for choosing Carter's Family Florist.
on this morning, we have Miss Clemmy Greenlee, a community activist, and her work has allowed her to speak to diverse audiences in more than 36 cities across the country. As a passionate voice for the voiceless, she has prevented more than a dozen of gang retaliatory shootings, helped dozens of homeless residents find temporary and permanent housing, worked with hundreds of women seeking to leave the sex trade industry, and have provided the much needed health services for people with HIV and AIDS. Her work on gang prevention and meditation has brought the Nashville Peacemakers the national acclaim. Peacemakers is Mothers Over Murder. The program assists parents who lost children to urban gun violence. Its Straight Talk initiative is another signature, a program that entails face-to-face sit-down and mediations between rival gang members. She has produced an audio CD, Let's End the Violence, to deter youth from gangs. In recent years, Ms. Clemmy has divided her time working with resident director of the New Orleans-based Eden House. The Eden House provides support services for women survivors of prostitution, violence, and human sex trafficking. In 2007, Ms. Clemmy received one of the Nashville's highest honors when she was named Nashvillian of the Year. She's received so many other awards, such as the Soros Justice Fellow of Open Society, a standing award given by the Philadelphia Mothers in Charge of Organizations, the Mothers Still Standing Award. And she has also been featured in the Tennessean, the Tribune, the Huffington Post, and the Times, and she continues to do the work that's much needed in this society. Thank you for your advocacy.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Wow, I mean, you read me well.
And I'm sure that's much more.
Well, it is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just thank God for all of that, and being able to even do some of the things you've named. I didn't see none of that coming, so let me just say that first. But thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. And it's amazing what God does and can do and is still doing in our lives when we just say yes to God, when we give our lives to God. Oftentimes life has a way of taking us on this journey, adventure, some up, some down, some good, some bad, but God is with us through it all. Can you tell us about why you're so passionate about the work that you do?
Well, you know, I start when I started seeing my mom and my dad struggling. I was young. You know, people always say they start because of a drug addiction, street life, young pregnancy. I had all of that. But to me, mine was just seeing my mom and my dad struggle. And I remember the stories my mom and dad used to tell me. I probably about 7, 8, about how they couldn't do stuff, how segregation was this, and how my mom had to be a maid and my dad drive a built truck. And I was like, those two is toxic by itself. And I think once I went to work with my mother, she would always put me in this room and tell me don't come out, but it's this big, beautiful house. And I was like, I mean, but these are some beautiful houses. Why ours is so raggedy? But I just couldn't catch it. And so one day when she took me to work, I came out and I saw the house, and then I went in the door that she told me don't go in. And when I went in it, excuse me, she was on the floor scrubbing it. And I think I was probably about 8. And it's something that just clicked. And so then I figured out why my father come home all the time intoxicated, just drunk. And when I figured that out, he driving this beer truck so that he automatically get beer every time he wanted. And so when I get home and find out that we don't have too much to eat, too much to look forward to, too much to play on, it was like, I got to help. I got to help my mom and my dad at 8, 9 years old. And my help was not the right help. My help was wherever we lived at, it was always poverty, gentrification, but it was always somebody across the street that was living a little bit better. And so just like the kids today, you want to go across the street and see, how do you live like that? How are you able to get pizza? You know, how you always keep money? So those was the wrong questions for me to ask because they was willing to show me how to do it. And that's how my whole lifestyle started trembling down to make me want to snap out of it and start helping people after I went through that tornado.
Wow. You know, life is really interesting as it relates to the various things that we experience, how we have a tendency to take them in, and how it becomes a framework of our life. I think about how you said you can see the difference between your household versus other households, and how poverty within itself is traumatic, it's trauma, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're living in a state of where you don't have sometimes just the basic necessities, it's really challenging for children and obviously for the parents because oftentimes alcoholism or other addictions is a way that sometimes people attempt to escape. But the problem is still there, self-medicating, right? And so you were able to see that, and I'm sure have seen that throughout of your experiences, personal experiences and experiences with others. Can you speak just a little bit about how trauma relates to addictions, how oftentimes trauma relates to violence?
Yeah, so to me, trauma and the addiction came in because once I asked that question, I want to help my family. And this is for today's kids, today's family. This is why so much violence and trauma out here now, because these kids have grown up and seen the same thing that I've seen with my family. And they not having it. They don't know why they living like this and that person across the street living like that, and nobody explaining it to them. So once I went and asked about how do I get money, how do I help my mom, how do I do this, well, it started with the molestation of a dirty old man messing with me, and it was one of my dad's drunk friends. And when I got to the point where I would say to him, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to tell it unless you pay my mama light bill. Because we always getting our lights turned off. So when I started saying that, I started knowing then, number one, I can manipulate. Number two, he done traumatized me already by touching my body and violating me at that young age. But to come back and see that he paid the light bill, that he did what I asked him to do, and then that kind of took me to another level where I'm gonna help my mom. So here come that other next dirty man, and then when he come, you finna tell him, you gonna pay the rent. Get us something else to eat other than bologna and peanut butter. But then today kids, it's the same thing. When you go over there and you say, how you get that car, how you get that, and he say, little boy, take this pack down the street for me, and when you come back, I'll give you $25. Well, that little boy just found out he can get a pizza now instead of bologna something. He finna take that pack. And when he take that pack down there, now he owe him. Like I owe them now, because how am I gonna pay them back without me telling it? I'm terrified. I'm traumatized. So I'm not gonna say nothing to nobody, but now it started letting me know that I was leading down a dark road of being manipulated into doing sex for millions to get stuff paid. That's how the sex trafficking came in with me. That's how when I first got snatched up, I was scared at 12 years old, but I kind of knew what they was doing, and that's why I was able to fight it and do what I do with it today. Traumatizing people think is because somebody really got shot or stabbed or just something major like that, but it's not. Traumatizing is when you got to go home, got nothing to eat, you got to go home, your lights turned off, you got to go home, both your parents are either knocked out on drugs or not at home at all, and you got to go home and you got to sit there until somebody come and rescue you. That's traumatizing. That's mental illness. I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to change the language of traumatization or mental illness, but I just need them to quit taking it to the medical part. I need you to kind of dig a little bit before we even got to the medical part, because some of us hadn't even been to a hospital. I had never been to a hospital. I had never been sick. I didn't even know I was sick. When I had this heart transplant, I had no idea that I was sick, because some families was not able to take you to a doctor, even if you were. And then what was your insurance back then? You didn't have none. So I tell people all the time, I don't try to contradict what people say, but I just can't let you say anything to me. If that makes sense.
It makes so much sense, and I tell you what, wow, I am grateful for your authenticity, being authentic and sharing the true story. And oftentimes what we see in life is how people are experiencing a certain place in life, but we don't see the systemic things, the things that's behind the reason why people are acting the way that they act. So thank you for giving us an understanding with that, because we just don't wake up and get to a certain place in life, right?
No, and I keep telling them, quit hollering at these kids, quit fussing at these young mothers. They didn't do this on purpose. They didn't get there. They wanted help. They needed help. I had a baby at 13. I mean, number one, I was introduced to sex at 5. So what you expect? And then number two, what's this in my stomach? What's going on? I'm not gonna say my mom them loved us unconditionally. We didn't have no finance, but we had love, and that's one thing I do thank God for both my parents, whether they was maid or drunk. They taught us just how to love each other, especially family. But they didn't know how to teach me. And nobody even taught them. And I remember reading with my dad. My dad didn't know how to read. I guess that's when I panicked when I asked you, am I going to have to look at this phone? I don't read. I don't know why all of this come to me. I don't know how I know to say all this stuff without research and stuff. So I always tell them dial 1-800-JESUS. He the one brought it to me, so I just all I can say. But I want people to just kind of go back and see why we got right here. And I tell them when they started talking about the black men, leave my kings alone. Leave my kings alone. My kings have been beat down. My kings have been misused, misled, misabused. They've been all of that. And then I'm telling them, so y'all want to talk about my black kings? Talk about what beat my black kings down. Let's go on back down here past Martin Luther King and then come on back up. So you can't just, I remember all the black fathers in the home, even though my dad, even though he was drunk, but he was in the home. And then the system came in, all of the low income areas, and started planting stuff in the apartments and pulling stuff out of the weeds, saying it's blown to us, and we on the porch, minding our own business, having a fish fry, drinking beer. You came and then you told them, no, you're going to jail for this drug and this pistol. And that my dad and my uncle have never had a drug or pistol in their life. But you planted that pistol on them and you took them to jail. Now I'm giving this for a scenario, for an example of why my black kings feel like they're not kings no more. Then you take them and you arrest them, and we still in the project. So you done took the king out. The mom like, what? Kids like, oh wait a minute. And now you say you own this pistol, we'll let you out today. But then what you just do? You just signed yourself a felon. So they don't know this back then. They want to get out, get back to their family, and get back to work, whether the warehouse or the factory or the bill truck. And so when they did that, nobody explained to them that once you get out and sign that, you can't go back to your apartment projects because now you're a felon. So here come with mommy. Mommy don't know what to do. Mama been dependent on daddy. Well, we got a program called welfare, food stamps. See, if nobody want to talk to it and bring it all the way back, they don't need to talk to me. Then I take the food stamps, and now I'm under you. I'm under the system. So now when the guy come back, my husband get out, he can't come back because I done took your food stamp. I'm under the system, and now I can't have a felon in my house no more, which is my husband, the father of my kids.
My goodness.
You get where I'm going?
Absolutely.
And then now you done destroyed that, so the father don't know what to do. He gone on. He's trying to figure out what to do. She can't move because we too poor. And then all of a sudden, mom got to go get 2-3 jobs. Woo! What happens after that? She is not home by the time the kids get out of school. She's not home long enough to fix something to eat. And then all of a sudden, welfare's knock on the door for a welfare check. And I'm still at work. And now I'm an unfit mother. Woo! And they coming after the queens. Come on, queen. They don't want to talk about stuff, man. And I don't like it. And I think that's why a lot of people don't invite me to talk. Because I kept asking you, are you sure you want me? But I just want people to quit starting right here. We're gonna never get nowhere if we start right here. And then when you take the queen out the house, you notice now all these moms and stuff getting locked up. So you done left the kids by themselves. And what done happened? We got a chaos out here that's out of this world.
And that's what we are experiencing now. And thank you so much for deconstructing, right?
Yeah.
Unpacking a lot of things and the things that have happened that have gotten us to where we are.
Yes.
And you've said so much. You are just, I tell you, a powerhouse. You are absolutely a powerhouse.
Thank you.
Because of the deep understanding that you have, even as it relates to our African American men, the most brilliant, the most intelligent, the most creative individuals, and created after the very image and likeness of God. But
Yes.
society
Yes.
has, some of them made them believe that they are less than.
Yeah.
And I believe too, again, back to the anger, back to the violence, when a person knows that society and the community looks at them in a way that they're not, it makes you angry.
It do.
right?
It
makes you
does.
violent.
It does.
Because you're fighting against those systemic things. You're fighting against what society says because there's greater on the inside of you. And so, Clement, with that helps me to understand. But when I read your bio, I was like, well, how was she able to go into the gangs, right? And be able to bring a sense of peace and stop the retaliation. Can you speak a little bit about that? Because you've helped me to understand how you were able, because you see differently, right? Your perspective and your experience is deeper. Can you share with that?
So yeah, in probably 2000, early 2000, I was seeing young boys, including my son, walk around with blue scarves hanging out of their pants, around their neck, around their waist. And I thought it was cute, because I love my blue jeans and my boots. So I'm finna put one around mine. So I went to Cellar Court with my sister lived there. I went to Cellar Court, and when I went to Cellar Court with all that on, I got beat up. They beat me up real bad, left me in the field to die. I didn't know why I got beat up. So whoever found me in the field and got me to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Now I want to know who the people who jumped me, because now I want to do something to them. I'm just coming to find out who this God is. So I wasn't all the way there yet. And so when they brought the person to me, it was a 13-year-old boy. And so I said, why would you beat me like that? He said, you in my turf, and you on my turf. And I said, I'm on your turf. And so I'm telling all my people to leave it alone, don't do nothing to him, because I really wanted to do something to him. But when I got back to the house, I called my son and called him over here, and I said, I got beat up for wearing the stuff you got on, and the guy said he beat me up for, what you mean? What? No, you ain't finna do nothing. I just need to know, why did I get beat up? What is this? And he said, Mom, I'm in a gang. I said, what's that mean? What kind? He said, I'm a crook. Okay. I mean, you hurt? I didn't get it. A crook. You hurt? You need crutches? I didn't get it. And he said, sit down. So I sat down. He said, Mama, it's a gang that you join, but we don't do no violence. Because at the end, the gangs was not like it were then. My son was murdered in 2003. So what happened when he told me, kind of taught me some stuff. So when he got murdered, they said it was gang related because he came in Cellar Court with the blue scarf on. But I found out, I've been talking to the man who murdered my son. Let me just go back here real quick. Woo. I've been talking to the man who murdered my son. It took me 18 years. I had to let go after I had this heart transplant 2018 because they said that's what was killing me. I won't let go. I want to know. I think, tell me something, right? And somebody said, Miss Greenlee, I know who the guy is that killed your son. Finally. And now he calls my office every Wednesday. Do you want to talk to him? And I said, after 18 years, I have not heard anything. No lies, no nothing. I just couldn't understand it because everybody's kid wasn't perfect, but my kid wasn't that kind of kid to get shot in the back of the head, right? And so he said, do she want to talk to me? And I said, I told him, tell me yes. Anyway, real quick, I went to the office where he calls it, and the phone rung, and I'm sweating, and he answered the phone, and he said, did she show up? My Lord. All I heard him say is, did she show up? And when I did that, I said, yes, I'm here. So the bottom line is, I put money on his books now. I let him call me on my cell phone once a month. He said, well, is it anything that I could do? He was really remorseful. He said, is there anything I can do? I said, call me one time, just one time on Mother's Day. And don't call me no more on Mother's Day because you took that away from me. I don't get to hear Happy Mother's Day no more. So this is the conversation that we still have today. So let me go back to my son when you said, how did I know how to go and do the retaliation of the gangs, get them to do peace. At my son's funeral, it was packed. It was just packed. I didn't know my son knew that many people, so it was like 300-400 people there, right? So everybody kept coming past the casket, dropping in these scarves, taking these things off there, and I would take them out, you know. I'm like, wait, no. And one of the guys said, he come to the front and whispered at me, let me holler at you. And he took me around the corner and he said, Miss Greenlee, he said, you must don't know who your son was. And I was like, I know who my son was. He said, no, you don't. He said, the reason they're putting them bandanas in your son's coffin, he said, because your son, was the colonel of the Crips. From California to New York, Florida, he kept naming states. And I said, is this why they stand up like the army? They stood up and like, you know, like all that old mess. And he said, yes, ma'am. He said, so could you please let him go in honor? Honor? This ain't, you know, this is the way I felt like. But I had to do it because I didn't know that far. I didn't know. And so when I came back, I looked over there at my niece. I looked back over there, but it took everything in me not to go get them scarves again. At the end of my son's funeral, after we left the graveyard, the same young man that came to me, I came to him. I said, I need you to teach me everything. And that's how it all started.
My goodness.
So first they took me to Chicago and introduced me to them. And so my nephew went with me on that one because they wasn't going to let us in, you know, because the dude wasn't no heavy hitter like my son, but my nephew was. And so my nephew got out of the car. I don't know what he said to all them groups that blocked our car and that gate. And he leaned into the dude, and next thing I know, they spread the water like the Red Sea on it, let us in. And I was like, I'm on to something, I'm on to something. So what happened is, I don't know how my language started changing toward them, and I just jump up on the hood with them. What's up, homie? What you up to? Man, what you do? You fly, ain't you? And that's all that started happening. Then he was like, okay, she cool. All right, come on, Granny. Come on, Granny. And next thing I know, I'll go somewhere and they're like, oh, that's Miss Gallus' star. Leave her alone. That's Rodriguez's mama. Leave her alone. That's Big Lonnie auntie. Leave her alone. And I was like, okay. So I took that moment to say, okay, how can I get all of y'all to come? Yeah. And let me tell y'all how to leave these guns. Yeah. So that happened so much that in 2010, I was the leader of the game. You know what I'm saying? I was really the leader of the game. Y'all know that story in 2010. Go back and look it up. It was so many gang members coming to me in different kind of colors, doing cooking, resume, GED, learning how to fill out applications and all that, and the police came in. And they was like, you need to quit this stupid shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, you cutting my salary in half. I'm like, hold up. And everybody know this story. And I'm like, I don't even get a salary. But I thought you would be proud. And the lady said to me, she said, Miss Greenlee, what you have done is, when he said cut his salary in half, she said, I'm talking this room stayed full every day. Every day I had a place on Lishy. I want everybody to know about my place on Lishy. Every day it stayed packed with gang members, Blood, Crip, Gangster Cypher, when they said they couldn't come together, right? She said, all of those boys that come here on the weekend supposed to be in that jail cell for them 15 beds back here in juvenile. And the other 25 beds in jail, them boys supposed to be in there. And then when they pull the boys over, they get a Bible out of there, or they get an application out of there, or a rent receipt, because I help some of them get an apartment, or an application for win this or something. No more dirty money, no more drugs, no more pistols. And so then I was told, my name came up in a corporate meeting. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna get some real money. And they said, no, the corporate meeting that the corporate don't know about. So tell your sister to watch her back. I'm like, wow. You know, like, how could that discouraged me, and it scared me, I'm not gonna lie. And the next thing I know, June the 24th, 2010, I'll never forget it, at 4:15 a.m. Those got kicked in by the FBI, and my business on Lisha got kicked in by the FBI. I was the notorious madam of the gangs, and my brother was the kingpin, and I was using my nonprofit to what's called wash the money laundering and all that. And that's what caused that separation. And I was never able to get it back like I had it. I still got it a little bit, that's when I'm still out here. But I wasn't, they knew what they were doing when they broke up that yoke. See, people don't talk about that. People always want to look at me and say, yeah, that's the one that had that. But if I had done all of that, number one, I wouldn't still be sitting here because they were trying to give me 20 years. Number two, I would still have my nonprofit. And number three, I didn't go to jail. Because when they put them handcuffs on me, I already told them, dial 1-800-JESUS, because these handcuffs coming off me, because I ain't done nothing. Ain't done nothing but try to say to these boys, talk to these boys. Y'all told me that they couldn't be in a room together without shooting each other. I've never had a shooting in the 5 years that I was dealing with them. That's what y'all mad about. You never had to come to my place. You never had to come do no body bag. Never had to come put up no yellow tape. And then we had another thing I started with Thugging for Christ. Thugging for Christ brought in everybody. The prostitutes, the drug dealers, the hustlers.
But wait a minute, hold on. I'm still
See?
back to where I'm still.
So
Hold on, baby.
Be ready, get ready, get ready.
Back to
Okay, go ahead.
how systemic the systemic systems have been set up to prevent our youth, to prevent mothers, to prevent fathers from redirecting our youth in a positive manner.
Yeah.
And so people can spin a story how they want to spin it to get out of whatever the story they want to get out of. But the truth is that when we come together as a community, we have so much power.
Yes.
And we can change the dynamics, and that's what the powers to be were afraid of.
Yeah.
Because the monies, right? Slavery, right? It's still bondage. When you can lock a human up, that allows your coffers, the government coffers, to be fed. But when you take individuals out of the challenges, out of the violence, out of the gangs, and then you start having a program where you are building these individuals up to let them know who they really are.
Yes,
the
who they
powers
really
to be really don't like it.
No.
That is so.
Yeah.
I mean, you had gone on in a different direction.
I know.
I had to just stop there because that was just so absolutely powerful.
Yeah, so that's the mean when you ask me about the gang, that's why I could still go in there today because I earned that. I earned that credibility from them.
Wow.
But I'm kind of still skeptical because of how they still watch me. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like I'll be another Sandra Bland sooner or later. They'll find a way to pull me over and just charge me with anything.
We decree and we declare that you will live out your destiny that you were called to live out. And I am reminded of Esther, the scripture of Esther.
I love
how she had to go before the king on behalf of her people because she wanted to make sure that her people did not have to continue to be enslaved in bondage over the oppressions. So we decree and we declare that that same spirit of Esther is upon you. And everything that you have been ordained to do, you will do it because God has called it to be so. Even as God has given you a new heart, He's making everything new again in your life. And all things will come to pass as God has ordained it to be so.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm just glad that you asked me to come. I didn't even know you. I was invited to that little meeting Sunday, and just people don't want to hear some of the things I want to say because I don't say it like them.
Wow.
And I don't feel like God led me to say it like them because He don't let me
right.
finish school, so I would have knew all of them words. He wanted to keep it natural and low key and understandable. So I weep for my son. That's my only child. I'm looking forward to meeting the guy who killed my son. I want to see him face to face. He's 52. He's been in prison ever since. I asked him. He never got time for mine because he was a notorious gangbanger. So you don't snitch. So wouldn't nobody never show up for court when we had court. So I walked out and just told him leave it alone. That was 2003. So I just want to just look him in the eye, and I'm going to give him a hug. I want to definitely give him a hug because God said I have to.
Wow.
He said I have to in order for me to really be free of what I've held on all these years. But I still do deal with the guys with the gangs. They are 12, 13, and 14 now. So these are the guys who I probably had in 2010. They children that I have now. You see what I'm saying? So the only thing I did with that is when they got a guitar and started guitars and not guns.
Guitars and not guns. I love that.
Plug the good times, just doing all that shooting, and they need to come into class. So let's see where it goes.
So what would you say to a mother that's dealing with a child that is involved in violence and may possibly be in a gang? What would you say to the mother?
So what I want to say to the moms and the grandmoms, I mean, I'm going to put the dads on the side for a second. The moms and the grandmoms. You guys got to get more involved in your children. You got to have more conversation with them. You got to, all of that, don't invade my privacy is over. You have to go invade their privacy. I'm going to be here for you. I don't care what it takes to get to you. I will get to you if I can. Always remember that Mothers Over Murder going to be here. But look, some of these kids, they just mad, they lonely, they scared. They are going through trauma. You don't know what done happened to them for them. And then, my main thing, I pray all the time. If y'all would quit hollering and cursing at these kids, just quit. I know you angry too, and I don't know how you grew up, but y'all with all of this hollering and cursing and hitting on them, that's brutality right there that you done put in them already. The violence, when they swell up like that and ball their fists up like that to you, you put that in them.
My goodness.
So please, I'm asking y'all, you got a kid out of control, call me first. Don't call Juvenile.
How will they get in contact with you?
Get in contact with me. This is my cell number, 615-589-8984. And my website is NashvillePeacemakers with an S.org. NashvillePeacemakers.org. 615-589-8984. Call me and give me a try before you call the system and make them fry.
Thank you so much. My goodness. What's your final words? I know you have a whole lot more. We're going to bring you back. But what would be your final words to our audience? What do you want our audience to know?
I want the audience to know that you have to speak up. We as black communities, I'm not racist or nothing, but I'm going to claim mine. We got to speak up. We the only one can take our streets back. We the only one can take our community back. If y'all not seeing how they trying to wipe us out and run us out, then I don't know what else to say. But look, get with me. Let's form our own movement, a non-violence movement, and then let's bring our own kids and our communities back.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining me on today. The Word of God tells us that God has created one blood and one nation, and we are all beautifully and wonderfully created to give God glory and also to encourage and to build up our communities. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on next week.